Welcome to Grant Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are live. We are looking at our top 10 tracks from 1986. We got a full panel. We want to hear from you. Let's keep this interactive. Remember, it's all about the music, so let's get started.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Hey everybody, we are live. We had a little bit of a shaky start. DC, if you've been following this channel, you realize that DC has a lot of equipment issues. Well, ladies and gentlemen, his microphone worked, but his headphones didn't. And so he's rebooting. I couldn't wait any longer, but he'll be back because we can't do this show without DC, for crying out loud.
He's like the Jerry Lewis of Grant's Rock Warehouse, always bumping into things and knocking things over.
He's the Dick Van Dyke, falling over the sofa, tripping.
Exactly.
That's what he is. So anyway, let's welcome the panel. We've got Byron, we've got Yvonne, we've got Schnee, we've got Johnny Metal, and we've got John the Music Nut tonight. And of course, we will have DC once he works some magic, and God knows what that is. Anyway, exactly. And okay, so tonight's topic, our top 10 tracks 1986. This has been an ongoing series, and I do want to say this to the panel. 1986 was a bit tough for me to pull anything out. It's like something happened between 1985 and 1986, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but something happened. DC, you mentioned that before.
To me, 1986. To me, 1986 was really the final year that I loved. Like, to me, the 80s really started in like 78. No, I'm sorry, 77, and goes up to like 85 with a little bit into 86. And then to me, everything changed after 86. So when I think of the 80s, I don't think of 87, 88, 89 for some reason. I just lump that in with whatever came later.
I'm agree.
Yeah, because something's different about 86. Because I was going through tracks. I'm going, oh, this should be difficult for me. But I was going through and I'm going, crap. But I pulled something together, and like everybody's top 10, it could change. If we did this tomorrow, our picks could be different. So anyway, this is just a fun exercise. We just want to keep it interactive. We want to hear from everybody in the chat. And before we get started, let's see what's going on in the chat and see what Sydney's dished out already. Let's see. And young Logan. And by the way, if you haven't checked out young Logan and Sydney's new channel, they have a new channel. And they're looking at the entire catalog of Triumph, something new. So there you go. Check that out. I don't have the link up, but I'm sure Sydney will pop it up there, and I'll pop it up. I'll share it with everybody. So make sure you give those guys some love and check out their new channel. D-Rock or Ben Orr Stay the Night. Why do I think that might make an appearance? Counting on Johnny Metal line up with my picks. Well, you know how Johnny Metal is. He lines up with you 100%, Sydney. In fact, you two should get a room.
Well, hey now.
I was too into metal to notice. Randy, I'm sorry. I haven't kept up. Rick Ocasek, In Motion's a good one, too. All right, let's get going because we got a late start. Everybody, welcome DC back to the channel. DC, how you doing?
My God, always a circus. The microphone went when we interviewed Foreigner, and now the headphones went tonight. So I had to run upstairs and get these.
That was good.
And it's just been insanity here because our daughter, we had her birthday party tonight. The grandkids are running all over, and I think that's what did in the headphones. One of them was grabbing for something back there, and I reached back and it just yanked the headphones out of the back, and I think that's what did it. So
somebody's getting in trouble. Somebody's
getting in trouble.
But let's get on with it.
All right, let's go. We're going to go Byron. We're going to go Yvonne. We're going to go Steve, Johnny Metal, John the Music Nut, and DC, myself, and we're just going to keep going around. We're going to go 3, 3, and 4. Yeah, that's what we're doing. 3, 3, and 4, and we'll just keep it going. And however long it goes, it just goes. Because, we don't want to be all rushed because Ernesto's always rushed. So we don't want to feel rushed like Ernesto.
Yeah.
Anyway, Byron,
I'm ready then.
You are up. I am ready.
I agree with you, man. 86 is a weird year. As far as I like Prague, and Prague was kind of dying in the 80s, but I mean, it got revived again a few years later, but there's not a lot of Prague to talk about in 86. And, a lot of the metal bands that I liked were just starting to switch over to hair. So, that's not the greatest, but thank God I got saved because there were some good shredders coming out in the later 80s. So, like I said, I don't love all of my picks. And if you don't like them, I don't blame you. But my first pick, I'm going to go actually with a Neil Young song off Landing on Water, Touch the Night. It's not one of his best albums, but I really like this song.
Boy, that album's a tough one. It is so 80s.
Yeah, there's so many keyboards on it, but I think Touch the Night really works on that album. So I've always liked that, so I picked that one tonight. My next one, I'm going to go off of his debut, Vinnie Moore. I'm going to go the song Daydream. It's a little more melodic than a lot of the shredders were doing. There's still some good shredding on the solo, but it's a very melodic song. I think it's probably the best song on here. Wasn't he in a band called Hawaii before this, John and John? I think he was.
I think Hawaii was Marty Friedman.
Or Friedman, that's right. What was he in before this? Anything? Or was he unknown?
Vicious Rumors.
That's right. I do, and I have that. I forgot all about that. I got that.
I love Daydream. That's a wonderful song.
Yep, it is. So,
Jeff says that song's better live. Is that true? Anybody hear it live?
I've never seen him live. I might have a live album though laying around here.
All right. There you go. Ken White gives you a thumbs up.
Ken's a big shredder guy, so he likes my shred picks.
I think Ken, you know what? I love Ken because I don't think there's anything Ken does not like. I've never seen a guy that likes so broad of a spectrum. So.
He's the anti-Marlin.
He's anti-Marlin. So Ken, please stick around. Make sure you stick around.
That's right, Ken. We love you.
Also,
we do love Ken. Anyway,
Tony McAlpine on keyboards on here. There's a great solo on that song. But we got Tommy Aldridge on drums and Andy West on bass. Can't go wrong with those guys.
Great rhythm section. Yeah, it's a great album.
Hey Nathan, nice to see you.
So my next track, actually, Grant, Steve, and I did a ranking the albums by these guys. So I'm going to go off the Call Reconcile. I'm going to go with Everywhere I Go.
Good pick.
It's my second favorite song by them. You might find their favorite song next year. List, so. But yeah, so I'm going with that. Those are my three for now.
All right, excellent, super. Hey, we're getting. I love it. All right, Yvonne, welcome. Nice to see you. Yvonne's on a work trip, I think.
Yeah, he's going the extra mile.
Going the extra mile.
My studio, away studio, is in Stavanger in the west coast of Norway. 2 hours with the plane from my place. So I'm on a hotel room now with. I took all my records with me without the records, just the cover.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is dedication.
Yeah.
To go on a trip and bring your props with you, man. I love it. All right.
I didn't even pull anything from the shelves.
I got everything ready, so you don't have to, Yvonne.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, man. This show's all self-contained. Anyway, go ahead.
Rocks.
I start with number 10, and this is this is a London group, Cutting Crew. And
sorry, John.
I Just Died in Your Arms, and this English band is from London. They was active from 85 to 93, I think, and then they start up again in 2005. And Nick Van Eed is the guy who wrote this song.
I'm a fan.
This song was so very, very popular in Norway. And I think in 2020, they received the prize for 5 million plays on the radio in America. So I think a lot of people have heard this song, I Just Die in Your Arms. This is a remix on 12-inch, of course.
Yvonne, did I ever mention this to you? I don't know, but on the 80s cruise last year or the year before, now I can't remember. Cutting Crew was playing on the ship, and they were just in a pretty small room, but oh my God, the people, the crowd loved them. They were great.
Yeah, I love that. So I have a lot of 12-inch records, and this is number 9. and this is from the best movie from '86. This is OMD and If You Leave, and this is of course, from the Pretty in Pink movie soundtrack written by John Hughes. And I think this OMD group wrote this song in only 24 hours because he changed the ending of the movie. So this is a very, very nice song. I really, really love it. And of course, I love the girl there, Molly Ringwald in Pretty in Pink. And it's a
Hallelujah.
good movie. I love
I'm
it.
trying to fix this so John's not getting cut off, but I'm going to move him.
You can just switch me and John. I'm sure letters over my face is an improvement.
I wonder if I can drag him. No, it drags the whole thing.
Okay.
Well, you know, it just is what it is.
What if you went 3-1-3? So then the person in the middle would have empty space on both
Ooh, we
sides.
can go squares.
Oh,
Circles. Oh, look at that. It looks like, that's kind of weird. All right. Well, I don't know if it's going to, no, that's not going to work. I'm trying. Oh, that's weird. Hey, that's kind of wild. All right, I'm going to go.
Why doesn't John the Music Nut just move over into Johnny
No, I'm
Metal's?
doing this.
Oh,
Let's
there
see
we
what
go.
happens. If I get, that actually might work. All right, we're doing that.
Yes,
See?
so we are in there. Yeah.
All right.
Then
So keep
number
going,
8.
Yvonne.
Number 8. This is number 8.
Okay.
This is XTC with Dear God, and this song was not released on the album, so it was just the single. And this is a 12-inch single of this English rock band, and it was very popular in the college radio station in America, I think. So
It was actually a B-side, is what
yeah.
it was originally,
yeah.
and then it caught on.
Well, it originally was on the record, wasn't it? And then they pulled it before
No.
it came out?
No,
Before it came out.
No, it was a B-side of Grass,
Right.
and that's where it was. And then the album came out, and then of course Grass didn't get much airplay, but Dear God did. Then they took off, I think Mermaid Smiled or something, and then put Dear God on instead.
yep.
And I think this song is produced and with Todd Rundgren. And Todd Rundgren, you love Todd Rundgren. I know that, Grant.
We do.
Yeah, and I think the song, it's a female singer in the beginning and the end of this song, and
It's a kid. It's a kid.
It's an 8-year-old Jasmine who
Yeah.
sings it. So it's a friend of Todd Rundgren's. So this is a very, very nice song, and a 12-inch is nice. So that was number 8.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Yvonne. Excellent stuff. Mr. Schnee, you were up.
Okay, 1986, as we were saying before, my last, what I consider the really, really, really good year, if not great year for the 80s. But then when I went in, I didn't love as much stuff that year, but the stuff that I loved with a passion. I mean, the stuff I couldn't fit on this list, Queen, Aha, Krista Berg, The Fix, China Crisis. I cannot believe that I didn't put those. Like you said at the beginning, our list would have changed. My list changed 5 minutes after I sent it to you.
Yeah, I bet.
So anyway, number 10 on my list is a song called Lean on Me by Redbox. It's from their debut album called The Circle and the Square. That's also available in the new Cherry Red box set. And this is very, very pop, but also if you love sort of what Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel were doing around the So and Hounds of Love type stuff, where it was, there was some tribal in there and world music influences, but it's still very pop. That's what Redbox really, really falls into that category. Really wonderful song, really wonderful album. The next one would be Kissin' the Pink. They actually, this album was their third, came out under the name KTP. But this song called Never Too Late to Love You is just, it's slick, but it's got a great groove, a great melody, great hook. And I love those songs where, the main hook is, they sing the main hook, and then later on in the song, they sing like a counter medley and then, or a melody. And then at the end of the song, they're singing both at the same time. I'm always get hooked into that. Really, really wonderful stuff. And of course, who can forget my next one, which is a wonderful song by the House Martins. from their debut album, London Zero Hole 4. The song is called Happy Hour, and it sounded like a punk. Paul Heaton had this almost Glenn Tilbrook type voice. So it sounded like it could be like a really edgy, power poppy punk squeeze, but still just a great song, great band. And of course, Paul Heaton went on to Beautiful South and everything else. So, but anyway, that's it. That's my first three.
Excellent. Super. All right. Johnny. Well, now I don't know. Remember, I guess it's Johnny Metal.
Yeah.
We're going with Johnny
Yeah.
Metal.
Okay, so most of some of these picks are going to be brought to you kind of sort of by this album here. Best of Metal Blade Volume 2. I'm bringing the metal tonight, folks.
Show that again, John, real quick while I make you big.
The big screen.
Yes. Best of Metal Blade Volume 2.
Okay.
So 1986 for me was like a year that I started getting to work and I started getting paychecks. And of course, the first thing I started buying was just all kinds of music and metal. And that's what I was into. And I came across that and my world just completely opened up. So my first pick is actually something that was
Jesus.
Oh no, here we go.
All right, Marlon's here, everyone, if you haven't noticed.
Hey, thanks for subscribing to my channel, Marlon, by the way. I just want to say. Anyway, so my first pick actually came from that album, Power Metal Guys. Omen with a song called Teeth of the Hydra. Just power metal song, just has kind of a priest feel, but the singer just kind of had his own voice, and I love the guitar player, Kenny Powell. I thought was a great guitar player. So many of those Metal Blade bands just never quite got the due that they should have gotten. And my next pick is actually going to be another one of those that was featured on that album. And Peter Kerr and I actually talked about this album on his channel, Détente, with a song called Holy War from their album Recognize No Authority. You have a singer named Dawn Crosby on vocals, who was this very much ahead of her time as a vocalist, and especially for a female vocalist, who wasn't singing about the typical 80s metal stuff. This was very socio-conscious type of stuff, and it was in very, very strong stuff. So yes, great song. My next one is early prog metal band that I've heard say if this band wasn't ever around, Dream Theater probably would not have existed the way they do. Fate's Warning from Awaken the Guardian, the song called The Guardian. It's a 7.5 minute epic, and it's just full of so much goodness that my God, I just don't even know where to start with that song. It's a beautiful song to play on guitar. It just has such a great feel, and the lyrics are haunting. The vocals by John Archer are haunting. Wonderful album. That's my first three.
All right, super. Thank you, John, the music nut. Let's sort over to the other John. John, nice to see you. Welcome to the show. What's your first pick?
All right. So here's a number one hit with a great bridge in it. Ton of hits off this album. Control. It's Janet Jackson. Oh, nasty.
Oh. First time Janet's been mentioned on this channel. I should have like some kind of an explosion or like a
first time mention explosion.
So there you go. Awesome. Cool.
Yes. Who's that in that nasty car?
Nasty very good video. Very good video.
Yes, it is. She had a nice little butt back in the day, too. Number 9.
Oh, my goodness. All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, most people know this band is a one-hit wonder in the United States, but I'm picking a different track from this self-titled debut album by the Georgia Satellites. I'm going with The Myth of Love. You might say that innocence is my only crime, and the myth of love walks a thin, hard line. That's right. I love this track. This album is a knockout from back to front. I mean, don't just judge them based on that Keep Your Hands to Yourself is a wonderful song, but
Yeah, it's
also
clever
great.
and funny and all that good stuff. But there's a lot on this album, John. You're right.
That's right.
At 86, it was hard to escape it. You have to admit.
That's true. All right. Number 8. This is for Todd Evans. REM. This is my favorite album by REM these days. Fantastic. Tragic.
Jesus.
Good album.
Fantastic.
Good record. All those records are good.
Written in the voice of someone who's aging. And, they know what's about to come, but they're going to keep fighting. Father Time's undefeated, but it doesn't matter. But it doesn't mean you can't put up a good fight. That's what this song's all about. REM these days, my number 8.
Excellent. Super.
Thanks, guys.
All right. DC tune time. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Here we go, folks.
Okay.
The Farner, as we said, the Farner interview, my mic died. Got a new one here. Tonight, my headphones died right before the show started. Anyway, on to my top 10. My first pick is going to be from an album that is my favorite album of the whole decade of the 80s. And an album like this, it only comes around once a decade. And as an avid music lover and consumer, these instances are rare. And the next time this would happen to me would be in the 90s with Jellyfish's Spilt Milk. And I could have picked just about any track from this album, but I selected The Man Who Sailed Around His Soul from XTC's Skylarking.
Excellent.
And I chose this tune to represent the whole album because I remember when I first listened to this, I was so taken by it. And there's such diversity as you're moving from song to song. The sequencing is perfect, but these songs are all over the place. This isn't AC/DC where from track 1 to track 10, yeah, pretty much in the same, genre or shoot. But when I got to this song, I just burst out laughing, not because it's funny, but because it's so out of left field. This thing is best described as beatnik jazz James Bond film theme. Mm-hmm. That's how I would describe it. And on an album that's got many twists and turns, like I said, this thing just tickled me. The story goes that Andrew Partridge described what he wanted in the song to Todd Rundgren, and overnight Todd did the arrangement and the score, and it's fantastic. He got with Prairie Prince and told them exactly what they wanted with this kind of like beatnik vibe going, and he nailed it. Percussion here in this song is perfect, and it's just a stellar tune from a stellar album. And while we're talking about Mr. Rundgren, my next pick is going to be from Utopia's album Trivia, which was basically a bunch of tracks from their last 3 albums and 2 new songs. The 2 new songs I picked, we got company here, through me, is Fix Your Gaze.
Ladies and gentlemen,
wait a minute.
If you know DC, there's always a lot. Oh, look, hey, there he is.
It's Kid Rock.
Kid Rock
returns.
Hey, Kid Rock.
Okay. Anyway, it's Fix Your Gaze. The other original tune was Monument. But 2 stellar tunes here. Man, that really threw me. All of a sudden, there was people moving in behind me. What the?
You saw them behind you.
What? You guys did. I was all immersed in thought. Well, I'm just going to go to the next song. That threw me. God, what else is going to go on tonight?
Never a dull moment.
No. Let's take a cue from tonight's thumbnail. And it was convenient for me that its song was included on my list. It's the Bangles with If She Knew What She Wants. And this is a fine remake of a Jules Shear tune. Catchy as all get out. And one of my favorite tunes from the Bangles. In the great debate of who was the better girl group back in the day, the Bangles or the Go-Go's, it's not even close for me. It's the Bangles by a mile. And actually, if you want to talk about all girl groups proceeding up to the 80s, Fanny blows all of them out of the water, in my opinion. But that's my third pick of the first go-round.
All right, cool. Thanks so much. Let's see. So I'm starting out at my number 10. I guess it really doesn't much matter. All right, number 10. This is a song that I first heard it. I remember when this came out in '86, and there was really nothing else like it. Was it a novelty song? Was it a dance song? What was it? It was something that was so over the top that you couldn't get enough of it. There
Shut
were
up,
so
your
many.
face.
What's that?
No, nothing.
Smart ass. Anyway. Now I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, there were a lot of different versions over in the UK. In Europe, there's a lot more versions than what we got over here in the US. But, I still like this. And it is about as over. If you think 80s and you think something that's over the top, you've got to go with Falco, Rock Me Amadeus.
Falco.
But
Rock
it's
Me
brilliant.
Amadeus.
It's brilliant. Because when I think 80s, this is number one. Just so freaking nuts. But Falco's great. You got to love Falco. All those Falco albums are really good. So check them out if you haven't checked any Falco out. All right, my number 9. We're going to go with the album that came out in 1981 originally, but was on the Pretty in Pink soundtrack, and they remade it, re-recorded it, put a sax solo on it. Is it as good as the track from 1981? Your mileage may vary, but I'm going to go with Psychedelic Furs, Pretty in Pink. And I think they did a fine job. I guess I prefer the original version from 81, but this version doesn't bother me one bit. So we're going to go with that. My next pick is one of these records that I used to play back in the day. I thought these guys were brilliant. I thought that these guys kind of a mix of the Residents meet Zappa meets, God, what else? They're just odd. Now, they're not anything like Zappa. They're probably more like the Residents, but I'm going to go with They Might Be Giants. Don't Let's Start. Phenomenal. All those They Might Be Giants records are okay in my book. A lot of those early records. Lincoln's a great record. God, great stuff. Great writers. Lots of fun. Saw them live when they John Henry tour, and they just got a band. They were phenomenal, and they're a lot of fun. And if anybody knows They Might Be Giants, you would never think that this would be the kind of band where people would jump up on stage and stage dive. They had a constant line going up, and they were stage diving off their stage during their sets. Crazy. So much fun. So there you go. There's my first 3. So, Byron, you're up.
All right. So I'm going to go off of an album that gets kind of derided because of the name of the band on it, but it's really not a band album. To me, it's an Iommi Hughes album. Nothing wrong with Iommi Hughes at all.
Nope.
I'm going to go with Danger Zone. I mean, there's a lot of good songs on here. Danger Zone, it's good energy, great lick, kind of accessible. It's just a great track. So that's why I went with that. I could have gone with a lot of other tracks on here, but
In for the Kill, Heart Turned to Stone.
It's just good stuff. All right, so next one. This is his biggest selling album. I'm fairly certain of that. Very radio friendly. Got tons and tons of airplay. So I decided I need to pick something off of this. So I'm going to go with Red Rain. Such a beautiful song. Nice. Such a great album. It's not his most experimental album, but man, it did real well commercially. And
Red Rain.
It's still a solid album in my opinion. So, yeah.
Everybody,
can't go wrong.
Hold on. Marlon gave Byron a thumbs up, and I don't think it was for Peter Gabriel.
It was the Black Sabbath, I'm sure of that.
I've never seen Marlon give props. Please, someone take a screen capture. I don't. Just saying.
I'm going to count it as a feather. He gave me a 1 for 3 in my first 3 picks. Normally, it's a solid 0 for.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Give me like 1 second. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. I have to post that. All right, everybody. Keep going, BM.
All right. This is probably my favorite album by this particular band. I was going to maybe pick the first song on it, but I kind of got a clue the other day watching somebody's channel that they were going to pick something off of this album, and it was probably going to be the first song. So I'm like, I'm going a different direction. So I'm going to go off of Queensryche Rage for Order. And I'm going to go with the Whisper. I love the Whisper. It's got this cool dual guitar riff, the way it starts and throughout. And Jeff Tate's vocals on it are just wonderful as always. And just a lot of drama in his voice, especially all over this album, really. It's a great prog metal album, we'll call it. I love that album.
Marlon, I guess you're not a fan of Falco then.
So that's my next 3 picks.
That's so good. All right. Hold on, Wax. We're almost to Schnee. He's already spoken once, so just be patient. All right, Yvonne, you are up.
Papa Don't Preach, Madonna. She was so big in the 80s and 87. I think this is one of the best Madonna songs. I liked it a lot. And the video was it was problem with the Vatican and everything. She played a pregnant woman. But this song is a good pop dance song. And it's maybe my favorite Madonna song from the 80s. So... And number 6. Yeah.
I need to have Yvonne do some voiceovers.
Yeah. Number 6 is a song from Toto. And this is the first single, I Be Over You. And this was the lead single from the Fahrenheit album. And I really love Toto. I have everything of Toto on vinyl. I try to collect everything. And this is a Steve Lukather song, and he's the guitarist. And I think the song is about a boy that broke up with a girl, and then he find out that he's still in love with the girl, and he regrets to do that. But it's a very nice song. And Michael McDonald from Doobie Brothers is also on this song. He's a back vocalist. So for the next one, I need some props because 87 was the big hair metal year. And of course, Swedish Europe, the final countdown. The final countdown was the big song from 87. And everyone have heard this song. They use it on big sports arrangements, and it was a big YouTube video hit. And this is my hair metal song from the 80s. Maybe the hardest song I have today from you guys.
Well, that was a big hit, though.
Yvonne, that's kind of like
a nice
if Marge Simpson was in a hair metal band. That's kind of a bouffant there.
Wax says now he knows what your mom looks like. All right. Thank you, Yvonne, I think. Okay, let's throw it over to Mr. Schnee. Mr. Schnee, what's your next picks?
Well, like I said, so much stuff I could have put on. I already told you some of the artists that just missed my top 10. More artists that missed my top 10. Big out of Dynamite, Gary Newman, Stranglers, OMD, RAM, Erasure, Depeche Mode. But here is number 7, I guess. The Smiths, The Boy with a Thorn in His Side.
Oh, yeah. Great record.
Which is it was either that or There's a Light That Never Goes Out. Both of those are my 2 favorite songs on that album. And by far the Smiths' best album, but I love the Smiths, and I even love Morrissey solo. My next one is an Australian band. I cannot believe this actually should have been did you need me to pause?
No, I was pointing at young Logan. I've got a wig, but I should have wore it. I've worn it before, but no. I was just not you. I'm pointing to. Sorry, keep going.
I was going to say that this song should have actually been my number 1. I don't know why I put it down so low, but it's the group Icehouse and a song called No Promises. That's from the album Measure for Measure. It's an incredible song. In fact, usually I try to listen to the extended mixes because I just want to hear that much more of that song. And then the number 5, I guess, would be this is a song that nobody would expect for me to have on a list.
I would.
And that's Journey, Girl Can't Help It, from the Race on Radio album. I think that's a solid, great pop album. But of course, I think Steve Perry is one of the greatest rock vocalists of all time.
Oh yeah.
and that's a song that I particularly love. And unfortunately, that was kind of like the end of Journey. That album was the end of Journey, and they never. I mean, Steve Perry came back, but they never fully recovered. But that was just an incredible single, and I can listen to it over and over again.
Well, I think Marlon probably likes Journey. I don't think he hates Journey.
Oh, I don't think he likes Journey at all.
You don't think so?
I like Journey. I just don't really like that song though. That's
Well, you know what? Because
Well-
this isn't the only time this record's going to pop into now.
Yeah, this song may pop up again, folks.
Now, because of your guys' pick, I went and listened to this whole record today again. Hadn't listened to it forever, and I really dug the whole thing.
It's
Yeah,
good.
it's a great album.
I know it's really on that. That's really commercial Journey, but there's something about the songs. The production for one. I really like the production of it. And Steve Perry, you can tell he's running the show, but he knew what he wanted. And it seems like the rest of the band's more of a backup band. But okay, if you like that first Steve Perry solo album, which I think's a good record, you definitely would like this if you haven't heard this particular record. But yeah, it's a good record.
Be good to your
By the-
really good track.
By the way, that Steve Perry first solo album is being reissued by Rock Candy with bonus tracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
coming out, I think, next month.
That's going to
And
cost Grant some money there.
And here's a fun fact for you with this Journey album. Somebody mentioned earlier on did the artwork for that album, Prairie Prince
Yeah.
of the Tubes, and also on the XTC Skylarking drummer.
Yeah,
That's a fun fact for you.
yeah, but I, you know, like I was saying, people don't expect me to like Journey, but then again, people don't expect me to like a lot of the stuff that I like. You know,
That comment wasn't directed at you either, Steve.
no, oh, and I know that. For sure.
Does Sherry know that the album is being
For three
reissued?
of you. I'm done.
All right, here we go. Sydney. Steve Perry's a great singer, but I'd rank it at the bottom of the entire Journey catalog. Well, this wouldn't be the first time Sydney's been wrong, so keep that in mind.
What's the name of the
It's my
song
least
that they
favorite
did for Vision Quest? Only the
Only the lonely,
Only the young.
Young.
only the young.
Only the Young. That I think is my favorite Journey song of all time.
Good tune.
Every time I listen to that, I just go right back and listen again. But I think that came out the year before, or the year after, year before maybe.
Yes.
It was right before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Was
tune.
that a hit too? Was that released as a single?
Yes.
Yes.
God, I'd have to listen to it again.
Top 10.
Oh my God, it's
Only
amazing.
the young
Now I'm going to have to listen to that now. God darn it. Well, that's why we do these shows. See, I was putting this together. I had to freaking listen to this Journey album, and I did not. I liked it.
hmm
Madonna is in Vision Quest. Oh boy.
Well, usually when her name is spelled correctly,
Grant Arthur, I am drunk. It's good to know.
Poor Logan.
It's good. Man, Logan, better get help. Raised on Radio is synth pop. It's a little bit more commercial, but it does still work. Whatever. I like it.
if people like that kind of stuff, I was asking or I was telling Grant this or whatever. It reminded me a lot of that, like what Taxi was doing. That AOR sort of straddling the line between synth pop and AOR, and that's a sweet spot for me.
Are you angry with Waxed? I think you forgot the G. No,
Oh, G.
we expect that from you. Scandal and Patti Smith
Of
covers
course I'm
only
not
the
angry with Wax.
only
Wax
the
is my
young on the Warrior album. Okay.
friend. Oh no,
Yeah, they made it. Yeah.
Patti Smith I thought was one of the most beautiful women in rock. I thought she was a.
I think
Babe.
she had a great, unique voice too.
Mm,
XT. Yeah, Brian, we're going to talk more about that. George says Taxi were a good band. I have not heard them. I'm going to have to check it out. What the hell is happening? New Order, Bizarre Love Triangle. I could have
Well, he
picked
has
that.
he has a wrench, so he's obviously not trolling us. So.
Oh, not the Wax. That's Rob. We know Rob.
oh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a friend.
Pretenders don't
I only
get
have
me
three.
wrong.
I only have three friends in the VC. One of them is the Waxed, and 2 of them are me.
I'm your friend.
Oh, I meant one of them is me. One of them is a Grant.
Okay. Rock Me Amadeus. Michael, you're a little late to the show, but we mentioned that. All right, well, we better take his wrench away.
Before Johnny Metal goes ahead, you did Falco Rock Me Amadeus, right?
Correct.
Now, if you've listened to a lot of the European versions, like the version that was originally on the 3 album, it's great, but it didn't have that spark, that thump, that energy that the American remix had. The one that we're all familiar with the most is the American remix, which is, like you said, it's unlike anything.
It's over the top.
It's over the top amazing. The version is on a lot of the compilations, stuff like that, is a great version, but not quite like that American remix that we love.
No, get the version if you are even into it. Get the American Falco 3 album that had this album cover that I just showed.
Yes,
That's the one you want, because it's got that version that you'd want. This record, that one. That's the one that's got all the different mixes, and they've totally tailored it for the U.S. market. So,
but everybody here in Falco up there, because I was going to do a Falco CD junkie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I got tons of Falco. Guess you're
okay.
We'll do me to that.
Yeah. No, we'll talk later about it.
Okay, cool.
Johnny
I would love
Metal
to do
is
that.
patiently.
BM Bolt says, "Are we still talking Falco?"
Morphed into a Falco episode.
I was gonna say, didn't Falco do a rock? Didn't he do like what Carl Douglas did with Kung Fu Fighting? Didn't he do like an Amadeus kind of album all around centered around Amadeus? I don't know.
No, there was just that video that came out where he was dressed like Amadeus.
I was gonna say, but what else has he done?
Vienna Calling, Der Kommissar as Wax.
Okay. He actually did have some other songs. Okay.
Yes.
I know Der Kommissar by After the Fire, so I don't know the version.
It's pretty much the same version, only and Falco's singing it in German.
Yeah.
So
I have 4 albums of Falco, so I'm a big Falco fan.
Huh.
All right, cool.
Well, stay tuned for that Falco album rank.
Hell boy, Falco's heating this up, baby. All right. All right, Steve, how many did you do your 3?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because that was, ladies and gentlemen, that was a tangent. So just to let you know, I can't keep track. Johnny Metal, you're up.
Johnny Metal.
Okay.
No, it's all about us talking music. It doesn't matter.
I need some metal, Johnny. I need some metal.
All right, so there's a little confusion on when this album came out.
Another thing about Falco. No, I'm kidding, Johnny.
The Kommissar was the best hit from Falco.
I don't care about Falco. Y'all can stop about that already.
Damn it. Okay, go ahead, John.
They're known for one song. He's known for one song, just like this band here is known for one song. Hurricane.
Okay, hold on.
It's not the song I'm picking because I think this either came out in 85 or 86, depending on who you believe. It's Only Heaven. This is the epic power ballad on this song on that album, and it had has a lot of strong memories for me. So that's.
I can imagine it has a lot of strong memories for me right now.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah. Next up, I saw somebody talking about Megadeth.
Did I say memories or memories?
That too. I saw somebody talking about Megadeth. How about I gotta put Peace Sells? God knows how many times I was listening to this in my Walkman. Walking to my girlfriend's house, and this album was just getting embedded into my brain. So, oh Lord, I should have known Sydney would want to do that. Yeah. So Peace Sells, iconic song. You'd hear that opening bass track on MTV News, and back in those days. So you'd hear that for the longest time. Where would I be without talking about my go-to band, Wasp? From Inside the Electric Circus, the song Restless Gypsy, probably a song I relate to quite a bit at times. Again, another cassette that I would listen to quite a lot on my walks to my girlfriend's house back in those days. But and of course that album, and of course the rest is history with me and Wasp. So there you go.
All right, cool. I don't hear any echo. Everything sounds fine.
That sounds good.
I don't hear it either.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Metal. Let's throw it over to Mr. Nut. All right, I'm ready. I think. Go ahead.
What do you mean I'm stupid? 2 plus 2 is 5.
What is happening with him?
I got that off my chest.
What is going on?
My pick is one that Byron alluded to earlier because I gave a spoiler alert. Queensryche, Walk in the Shadows, the opening track off Rage for Order.
Yes.
Kick-ass track. It should have been the video. We got
Yeah,
Gonna Get Close to You instead, which is a cool tune, but a lot different. It doesn't really rock like Walk in the Shadows is just this great straight up heavy metal song with a lot of melody to it. Excellent track.
I'll tell you, my favorite track from that album is a deeper track called London.
That's awesome.
I love London. That is just an amazing track. But
Yes.
yeah, Walk in the Shadows is awesome.
Yeah. Killer. All right.
Oh, Wasted. I've got that CD. Yeah, the first one, like they're like in the cellar. That's one of the ones Martin really likes. He likes that record. That's why I bought it, because Martin recommended it. All right, Queensryche. Davy's giving you a thumbs up on
Thank you,
that.
Davey.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right.
Okay, I know this is going to be mentioned sometime later, but this is our other big hit. This is my first of 2 songs in here that I think are pop perfection. Crowded House, Something So Strong.
Yeah.
Another
I got it
song
here
with a
somewhere.
great
There we
bridge
go.
to die for. Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
that's not
track.
it. Wait a minute. We got more than one.
Uh-oh.
That's
There
that's
is
the
something
other.
so-
That's the other hit. That was
Well,
the
we're
bigger
gonna go.
hit.
We're gonna pop that up anyway. Pretend that says something so strong.
Right. Something So Strong is not the wedding song that Don't Dream It's Over is, but it's still a fine track. It's
Hey,
very
now.
catchy. So many great hooks in it. Again, I said the bridge is awesome. Fantastic track. That's my number 6. Crowded
Okay.
House, So Strong. Number 5.
Mhm.
Sweetness. Sweetness says I was only joking by rights that I would. You should be bludgeoned in your bed. I screwed up the lyric. Big Mouth Strikes
okay.
Again. By the Smiths. And yes, I'm with Steve. This is the Smiths' best album.
Yeah, great record.
And all
Great
4 of their
track.
albums were good. No, actually, all 4 of their albums were great. And then
Yeah, there's no weak Smiths.
there is no weak Smiths. That's absolutely true. And then their singles that were on the albums, they were fantastic as well. But Big Mouth Strikes Again, it did kicks ass.
But the
Wonderful song.
the B sides often brilliant. It's just
No
they
doubt.
had so much. They were just on fire.
They were
Davies-
on fire.
Davy's favorite Smith album. Everyone, take note.
Mhm. There you go. So
Uh,
there's mine.
Crowded House, isn't that Diddy's place?
These guys are always working Diddy into our programming
I don't know why.
for some reason.
Coming soon to Grant's Rock Warehouse, a Diddy album ranking with Sydney.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Could
And
you
Logan.
imagine doing a Diddy album ranking? What would that do?
I won't be watching.
I
Me
wouldn't know
neither.
anything. I wouldn't even know where to start.
No
We'll
Dave
have Diddy and Dido. We'll just make it a complete group thing, even though they're totally different acts.
There you go. Eric Robertson giving Lone Justice some love. I Found Love. That first Lone Justice album's great. Look, there's another one.
Hey,
Yep.
how you doing?
Oops.
You know,
No, we have-
wait there, buddy.
All
we
right.
have to talk
Or
nights
the
now.
other arm.
Which grandchild is this, DC?
This is Jackson. He's our Thor.
Man, there's a lot of breeding going on over there.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Jackson. Didn't we just do Jackson?
Cute.
Who's that?
He looks like he's ready to rock.
Oh, that kid's always. Oh my God, I got stories. But anyway, if John's got history, then I'll move
Oh,
on to my.
John, you've done. Sorry.
I'm done.
Okay,
And
go
the
ahead there,
piggy-
DC.
To piggyback on a band that John had mentioned earlier, my next pick is from a band's debut that is outstanding. I could have picked 3 or 4 tunes from it, but I chose Railroad Steel from the Georgia Satellites.
Yes.
This is rockin', rambunctious, like the grandson, and dare I say, a real foot stomper. The songs Battleship Chains, Red Light, and their hit Keep Your Hands to Yourself are also stellar tracks here. But what in the world happened to this band with their subsequent albums? They are not,
Well,
for
they're
me, they are nowhere near as good as
Well,
Who
That
did the
one.
album ranking on these guys?
Yeah, we
Somebody-
did.
John and I
We did
talked
it.
about them.
Yeah, I think the third album is fantastic.
Really?
I think that, yeah, they went more earthy on that one because Dan Baird was going through a divorce.
Well, that'll cause that, I guess.
Yeah, that's a fantastic album. I
Yeah.
like that even more than the debut.
Really, for me,
I
it
think
was
I
the
rated that pretty
debut.
high.
For me, it was the debut, and maybe just because I'm more of a pop-centered type person. Those other two albums just, but Dan Baird's solo is very much like this debut from Georgia
Oh, yeah.
Satellite. So if you really like this album, check out Dan Baird's solo albums.
I
A
got a
lot
bunch
of great
solo
stuff.
albums actually.
Yeah, he's a very funny guy and very tuneful, and they're foot stompers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Some
I'll
of my
admit it.
favorite.
I'll admit it.
Oh, I
I
had me
used to
some hair
shake
back
that
in the
thing.
day.
Oh, baby. Those were the days.
I had a
All right.
fro in '86.
There you go. Don Brewer.
Now I look like Bon Scott in '86.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
I had
Okay.
the Mike Brady tight curls. No, not really.
Well, sure. I admit it. Why wouldn't I admit it? That was a long time ago.
All right.
But everybody was doing that. That wasn't unusual. People make fun of it now, but that was pretty normal.
We got to do in our next show. We should try and find a photo of all of us as close to 1987 as possible and put it up there during the programming. That might be fun. Just
Yeah,
throwing
great.
it out there.
Creighton had a mullet. Of course he did. The Metal Church the Dark. Eric Robertson, I bet, had a mullet. I bet you. I bet he did. All right, keep going, DC.
All right. This next song here is a group very popular, but the prominent instrument is not what it normally was on most of their songs. It's Van Halen with Why Can't This Be Love? Keyboard driven. You get some guitar there, but I mean, this is different in that respect. But I never tire of this song. So I'm going to make it short and then go on to the next one. And this group has also been mentioned before by John the Music Nut, but I picked the other song, which is in the thumbnail in there. It's Crowded House with Don't Dream It's Over.
Yes. Yeah, hold on. I got to scroll.
That's a very good song.
There, I got it.
What a freaking melody. This is like an evergreen song, evergreen single. I never tire of this. It's one I could put on an hour loop and play over and over. It's just beautiful, otherworldly. So,
You know, it's funny that record. I know people really love that record, but that's my, I know this is going to be contrarian. That's really my least favorite Crowded House album.
yeah,
There's something about it I can't get into it, like the later ones.
Yeah,
All
there's a
the
couple
three
tunes-
after this, I think, are brilliant. But this, I can't get into it.
I think Woodface for me is my favorite Crowded House album. But that song, Don't Dream It's Over, my God, that's one for the ages.
And I'm not saying this record's bad, but for me, I can appreciate it, but I just never return to it. I don't know. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I actually, I was a big Split Enz fan. So when the guy from Capitol Records came and he had this 12-inch single of World Where You Live, this is months before the album came out. And, I looked at it, I go, oh, who's this? I turn it over and I see Neil Finn. And I'm just going, holy crap. I cannot believe this. In fact, I went and saw Crowded House at a small Japanese restaurant in the Hollywood Hills. And at that time, Capitol was just about ready to give up on promoting the album. And then a month later, or whatever, Don't Dream It's Over caught on because the other singles before that didn't catch on. And they were literally going to give up on promoting it.
Huh. I'll be darned. Well, there you go. I Got You's one of the catchiest songs ever recorded. I agree with that. I love that record. Bon
Yeah, I got
Jovi,
that.
Let It Rock.
I got the Etched Split Ends album. from back
I've
in
got the
day.
etched 45 picture sleeve.
Oh,
No,
wow.
I don't think it's a picture. It might be a picture sleeve. but the single is etched.
I have to be honest. I don't think that there's any vinyl LP or 7-inch single in the U.S. of those particular things, like the One Step Ahead single, which was American, and then the True Colors. I don't think that there's a version that's not etched. I've never seen it not etched in America.
Mm-hmm.
Other countries, they didn't do it. So
I'm not sitting on a pot of gold there, Steve.
no, it's just like with Moody Blue. You know the Elvis album. Everyone's going, "Oh God, I got the rare.
I got the blue
version
one."
of that. Yeah, and it was pressed. If you have the black vinyl version of that, that's the rare one. Because
they pressed a bazillion blue ones.
And they're still pressing them in blue.
Is it still in print?
Yeah, probably.
Wow. All right. Cool. Was that 3?
Yeah.
DC, was that 3?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll go. All right. Problem is I have to scroll so far. All right, my number 7.
I lost the internet.
You lost internet? Well,
Yeah,
you're
but I'm
back though.
again now.
All right.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all good. All right, my number 7. I'm going with the band. I saw this artist on the 80s cruise last year. Absolutely phenomenal. Or was it the year before? I can't remember. But I did see Howard Jones play in 98 with the Human League and Culture Club, and it was phenomenal. So I'm going to go with Howard Jones. You Know I Love You, Don't You, from his third album, 1 to 1. The first 2 Howard Jones albums are pretty damn perfect. There's a little bit of quality loss here, but really, I don't think Howard Jones has really put out anything that was bad. I think all those records have something to offer, but I'd say this is probably even a little bit more commercial than the previous efforts, but still stellar stuff. Number 6, this has been mentioned before.
He's coming here with ABC pretty soon. You'd probably like to see that.
Oh,
I
you
would
see
go
that.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
No. Well, Byron, I understand.
You'd probably love that lineup. Go ahead.
I would. Love ABC. All right.
Yes,
Number
yes.
6, we're going to go with a member of the Cars. This was mentioned in the comments already. I'm going to go with Benjamin Orr, Stay the Night. Lace, not the greatest record in my opinion, but you have to admit this is one great track and just wonderful stuff. My number 5, I'm going with a band that I call the 1980s version of Radiohead.
Nice.
Going to go with Talk Talk. Life's What You Make It from The Color of Spring. Now this album, they're starting to get further and further out. By the time they get to the end of their final album, it's just avant-garde. It's just strange stuff. And the Mark Hollis solo album, the only solo album that Mark Hollis ever did, continues on from that last record. What was it? Spirit of Eden? No. Help me. Laughing Stock. The Mark Hollis solo album continues where Laughing Stock left off. Phenomenal stuff, but man, what a
I could never get
catalog.
into that. I could never get into that later stuff. This was the last Talk album I like.
Yeah, it's kind of like Radiohead. Some people like earlier Radiohead. And a lot of people go, well, I can't even listen to that later stuff. But the hardcore fans love it. And all the hardcore Talk people, same thing. But, Talk Talk's not really one of those bands that people really talk about anymore. Might have to do a show on them.
They need to talk about it.
He made a funny right there, folks.
There you go. Show idea.
It's his life, so.
All right.
Oh, where's my snare?
So that's my third one. Okay, there you go. Let's all go to our final picks. BM Bolt, you are up.
I don't know if you did the Talk rankings show. Somebody did one, and I watched it, and I thought, let me check these guys out. And I
talked about it.
I listened to those last 2 or so albums, and I thought, God, this kind of reminds me of latter day Marillion at times. The real
Cretin.
mellow stuff,
Cretin at the Talk, won't you, Cretin? Look at them getting all worked up.
Yeah.
Double them up. Talk and Falco.
Anyway.
Let's do a double up.
Double ranking.
No, double ranking of Talk and Radiohead.
Oh.
Speaking of Falco, in 1983. No, I'm kidding.
All right, I'm gonna go.
I don't know, Jeff. You wouldn't, Jeff. Come on, man. You wouldn't know Talk Talk if I played it. Talk Talk 2. Talk Talk Square. All right, go ahead, Byron.
Yeah. So I had my first 6 picks picked out, and like I'm just like I had a whole list of other stuff for these final 4 picks, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I got to pick something here, because they're all rated about the same to me, But I want to talk about a song from Kansas. Now, I don't know this song. Maybe it's kind of a little cheesy at times. Maybe not. I don't know. But man, Steve Walsh sings his ass off on this song. Can't Cry Anymore off the Power album. Now, everybody know that track?
I've got that CD.
He just sings his ass off. I mean, it's just kind of this ballad, but man, I've always just been moved by his singing on that track. So I went with that.
If you have heard Ricky Wilde, Kim Wilde's brother, he sings the shit out of Round and Round on here, if you haven't heard it. Just forget it.
All right. So we're going to go to the Yngwie Malmsteen well one more time. This is probably the last time I'm going to go to the Yngwie Malmsteen.
What? Oh, yeah, I doubt that.
He's just kind of after this album, it starts to drop. Although the next album I thought was pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Trilogy Suite, which is just the playing is just off the rails on this track. I mean, there's some vocal tracks. It's an instrumental. There's some pretty decent vocal tracks on it. But I just said screw it, just go with the Trilogy.
You know what we need? I need to have like a meter graphic that comes up, and underneath it say noodling, and it'll be like 1 to 10, and we can give a noodling rating.
Oh yeah.
Because this is off. This is probably a 15, 16 noodle.
Oh, that track is just crazy. Yeah, I don't know that I'll be picking any more Malmsteen going forward, but there will be some other guitarists in the future. So
hey, Byron, I'm just curious. Why do you think that there was a drop off in quality after this
on him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the deal. I mean, you can only write so many songs about like dragons and kings and queens and stuff like that. And I got tired of him constantly switching singers.
Yep.
And he didn't evolve. But you know what? Not everybody evolves.
Well,
I didn't expect him.
Well, look at Bread. I'm going to use that as an example because we looked at Bread on Sea of Tranquility, and all those guys were very accomplished musicians. David Gates was a producer for years. All those guys had pedigrees, and when they came out with Bread, they were really self-contained, ready to go right out of the box. And they really didn't change over time. Yeah. They just put out constantly good songs and good material. I mean, if I had not done that show on Bread, I would never look twice at them, really. Now I have a total appreciation of it because really all that stuff was wonderfully recorded. The production's great. The songwriting's really good. I mean, they used a lot of the Wrecking Crew in the background and stuff. Come on. Really need to look at it. It's a lot more than just ballads. I mean, they were pretty much just a rock band. I mean, I don't know. Bread tangent, but
I mean, for Yngwie to be commercial with the kind of style guitar playing he was doing, that to put those two styles together doesn't mix. And that Joe Lynn Turner album is a perfect example of that. It's not that good. So that's kind of why I'm like, that's why it's okay, but it's certainly, he was never going to get there.
He did better than I ever thought someone could do doing what he's doing. He actually sold some records, and
sure he did.
Well, is it because
which is shocking,
Not to go on an Yngwie show, but wasn't when he came out, I don't recall anybody, because I was working at the guitar store and there were people coming in and they were all into it. There wasn't anybody doing exactly what he was doing.
Not really. I mean,
I can't think of anybody.
Like I said, he took Blackmore and Uli John Roth to a new.
He's from Sweden.
He's from
Sweden.
Yeah.
My neighbor country.
You know, and without that, would you have any of these other Shrapnel guys? I don't know.
All right,
Probably
thanks, Tyler.
eventually, but he was the first one that really took it to that level. But, all right, that's enough Ingve talk.
Well, that's all right. We go on tangents. It's all good. Keep going. I'm ready.
So, all right. So I just did a show the other day with Logan and Sydney on Triumph. So I thought, in honor of those two guys, I'm going to pick some Triumph because, you know, they were my favorite band at one time. I think that this is a pretty solid album. Not great, but I'm going to go Somebody's Out There. That was probably their most popular song they ever released. It's a song of hope and optimism. I think my wife even kind of likes it. So there you go.
She kind of likes it.
She kind of likes it. Right.
All right, cool. All right, give
My
Triumph some
last,
love.
my last pick, it's kind of like talking that nobody's talking about them.
Mhm.
And their name is the same word twice. Like talk. I'm going to go David and David. Welcome
Oh,
to
yeah,
David.
yeah. Where is that?
Nobody's talking about these guys.
Well, they only put out one. It's a one and done.
Yeah, it was a one and done. Maybe we should do a show on them someday.
Well, we can do that.
Was it David Bearwald? I can't remember the other guy's name.
I would do a one and done on that because that's really supposed to be a great record. I've got the CD, but I have never really jumped down
It's
that.
not a bad album. You can get it pretty cheap. I think I gave $1 for that. They were with that Tuesday night club or whatever that Cheryl Crow
Tuesday
was
Night
involved.
Music Club.
Yeah, they were involved with that, and Kevin Gilbert was in it. It's an interesting album. It's kind of subdued, but that's a good song, man. I never, I heard that song when it came out, and then I never heard it again for years and years. But when I would hear it, I was like, yeah, that's a great song. So picked it up.
Well, I think it's one of those records that it kind of got a lot of recognition in '86, and then it kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a perfect one and done topic because come on. I think it'd be a fair
At least
record to look at.
We should
Nobody's
do a one and
talking
done
to
on
you.
Falco.
Do what?
A one and done on Falco.
Well, he's not a one and done.
No, I
Sure.
don't. I don't
Yeah,
care.
Don
We
Ozzy has
can
four
bend the rules a
Falco
little bit.
albums.
It could
We
be
could
one and
just
done
do
for Falco 3. He only had one album called 3.
Well, anybody who wants to do a Falco show, let me know.
I'm
Just
out.
saying.
I mean,
All right, all right, Yvonne and Schnee. All right, gotcha. All right, I'll set that up tomorrow. Okay, see
How's
how
it for me?
this works? And then we'll do David and David here in a couple months. There. God, this is wonderful. All right, thank you, Byron. All right, Schnee, you're up.
no, it's Yvonne.
Oh, well, look what he did, though. See what he did? Came back and left, threw up my order. Yvonne, go.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
This is my number 4, Lesson in Love with Level 42. And I was so lucky to see them live in my small town,
Wow.
Harstad, some years ago. And this is an extended version of this song. And Running in the Family was, of course, the album that the song was picked from. And this band here is so good. I think I have everything from Level 42 on vinyl. And this song here was not so pop. It was not a big hit in America the next year in '87. So, but in Norway and Finland, Spain, Germany, everything, this was the biggest hit in UK also. But it was a big hit in '87 in America. But in Europe, it was this year, '86.
Yeah, I'm a Level 42 fan, and I actually have like 2 box sets that are like 10 CD each, and then another box set that's like 7 CDs.
Yes.
And it's like sometimes I get a little too deep into the music.
Yeah, but it's a very good group. I love
Yeah.
it.
Is
My
it
number-
possible to get too deep? Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, not for me.
Everybody
I just-
on these shows, everybody that tunes in, we're all here. We're all in the same boat, and you
Yeah.
all know it. You all know it. So you can't get too deep.
Yeah. Whether it's Level 42 or Omen, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Either one. Well, that's the beauty. Okay, this is the beauty of this show, too. We get all different styles. We don't shun everybody. We try to give everybody a fair shake, and we bring a lot of different genres to the table. And that's what, and we all get along. We all can talk about it. Yeah, we all kind of rile each other up and, poke each other, but it's fun. And we're all this panel's here to do is to turn you on to stuff. Hopefully we mentioned something that you may want to seek out. So it's all good. It's just a community here in the warehouse. Anyway, keep going, Yvonne.
Yeah, my number 3 pick is from this album here. It's Paul Simon's Graceland's album. And this
Good
is
record.
one of my favorite 80s album. And You Can Call Me Al is the song. And of course, you remember the video with Chevy Chase and Paul Simon. They are sitting on two and just mimic with after the song. And this song is so good. And I think it's a song about the man in the midlife crisis. And one thing is special with this song. This is a bassist called Bakita Kumala. He plays bass in the first part of the song, and then the second part of the song is the reverse version of the first part. So it's a little strange, but this album here, and You Can Call Me Al, is so good. It's maybe the best song from the 80s. Let's get to number 2, and number 2 is my man. I'm a big fan of Prince, and this is a 12-inch version of this Kiss, and it's a long version. And also this lady called Jill Jones are on the 12-inch version of this. It's from the Parade album, and everyone know Prince, and I'm a big fan of Prince. I try to collect everything on vinyl from Prince, and one of the biggest Prince fans are in Norway also, Christer Falk, and he has so much stuff from Prince, and he have made a special CD with Norwegian artists that covering Prince, and he has a lot of stuff, and a Shockadelic Facebook page that you can read a lot of Prince, and he have made books and everything. So Prince is my favorite guy, and this Kiss version, it's so good. This song is so good. My favorite song of the 86, this is, of course, Sledgehammer with Peter Gabriel. And this is 2 12-inch versions, different versions. And Sledgehammer is, I think it won 9 MTV prizes in 87, the year after 86. And the 12-inch version of Sledgehammer, both of this version are so good. And this is maybe the best song ever from Peter Gabriel. And I saw him live in Norway some years ago also, and I'm so happy that I saw him live. So that was my number 1 pick, Sledgehammer from Peter Gabriel.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, the animation on that Sledgehammer video is mind-blowing. Yeah. It's incredible.
Perfect music video.
It still stands up.
You could have picked anything from the So album for this list, and it would have been perfect. That's just a great album from start to finish.
Great record. I just find it funny, though, and I've mentioned this before. People always complain about that whole Phil Collins era being so commercial. Well, if this record isn't commercial, I don't know what is. The
last 6 songs are commercial.
I'm not complaining about it because I love the Phil Collins. That's my favorite stuff. So I like this record. But it's funny when they say, well, they were horrible when Gabriel left. They went pop. Well, for goodness sakes, people.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm with Schnee. Pop and commercial are not 4-letter words in my book.
But you have to admit, this album is really top-notch, high level, great production, great songwriting, checks all those boxes, and it still stands up, This record's really aged well. Mm-hmm. Don't you think? Doesn't the panel think that this has aged well? For 87, 86? Yeah.
I love it.
John loves it.
And folk Peter Gabriel last year in 2023, he made a very good album called A.O. and he made 2 versions of it. A dark version and a bright version. I think it was a 3rd version also on Apple Music. And that's also a very, very good album, the last album from 2023 from Peter Gabriel.
Yeah. Peter Gabriel, so what? Am I in the minority, I guess? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, it's
okay. Don't Give Up off that album is just heartbreaking.
Kate Bush. Yeah.
Well, who loves Kate Bush?
I thought about that one. I did.
Kate Bush is one of my favorite.
Look at this. Sydney actually agrees with me. Look at that. I'll be damned. Let me take a picture of that. Hold on. I don't want to stop the show, but I got to get that while I have it. There.
He needs to listen to the third and fourth album, though. If he's going to say that.
Yeah. All right. So was that, Yvonne, you got another one? That's your final one.
That's my
All
number
right. The
one.
order's now all screwed up, so I don't know who's next.
Sneeze
I'm
next.
next.
Mr. Sneeze.
Schnee, you're up.
Okay, here's a band nobody talks about. All of us have to have that in our thing. But of course, Grant's probably going to say, oh, we did a 3-hour Sea of Tranquility special on it.
No,
Gene Loves Jezebel.
I love that song.
The first couple albums, were gothy and dark and post-punk. But the album before this and then this onwards, they just became this great band mixing their own unique take on rock music, which and this song here, the album version is called Desire. They re-recorded it or remixed it or something, and so the Desire Come and Get It is actually the single version. That's the version. That's probably one of the greatest guitar rock anthems out in the alternative world. I'm not referring to hard rock world or whatever, but it's so solid and it's so amazing. And still another song, I can listen to it and then replay over and over again, and it never gets old. It's just so incredible. The next one, this is my number 3, is an album a lot of people don't care for, and it's ELO from the Balance of Power album. The song is called So Serious. This album is solid, but the thing is they dialed back on the violins and stuff, and it became a keyboard, a synth pop album. Jeff Lynne is a great songwriter, whether he's writing for acoustic guitar, piano, strings, synthesizers, it doesn't matter. He is a master at his game. So Serious is like 3 minutes, and it's so hook filled, and the album sort of bombed, but it was incredible. My second, again, it's a group called The Church, a song called Already Yesterday from my favorite Church album called Heyday. I was going to choose a song called As You Will, which is a B-side. And I said at the last minute, maybe Already Yesterday, but As You Will is another. I mean, this whole album is solid. There's a great instrumental on this album that I love and can listen to over and over again, called Happy Hunting Ground, I think. And this is them right before Starfish, right before they became big. And it's if you love jangle pop and stuff, it's amazing. And my number 1 has already been mentioned because somebody on this panel likes to copy me. And he purposely put it before just so he could,
Upstage you.
Yeah, upstage me, which I don't appreciate, DC. And it's Don't Dream It's Over, Crowded House. Still, like I was telling you, I was a huge Split Enz fan. And when they split, of course, the first thing you're thinking of is Tim Finn is going to go on to this great solo career. Neil Finn is probably going to be pretty good. And that just turned around. Tim Finn started out the gate great, and then he just sort of started doing this. He's my second favorite vocalist of all time, Tim Finn. But his career was up and down, whereas Neil Finn was just, this album, and then Temple of Low Men, and then Wood Phase, and then Together Alone. Those were solid. Now, I don't think he's been as great as a lot of people say. I think he's still solid, but he's not as great as he was with the first 4 Crowded House albums. And, of course, his years with Split Enz. So that was my number 1.
All right, cool. Excellent. All right, thanks, Steve. All right, let's throw it over to Johnny Metal. He is up.
Okay, so I mentioned in the comment, but when you guys talked about having pictures of what some of us looked like back then, so I actually have
You
So
ready?
I actually have my prom picture from
Oh,
1987. So it's right here.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Look at that. Picture of innocence.
Look at
Nice
that.
dress, Johnny. Nice
Oh,
dress.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
There he is in all of his glory.
Yep. And sadly, my date unfortunately she would pass away a few years later, unfortunately. But
Oh.
yeah,
Oh,
so there
sorry
you
to
go.
hear that.
That's okay.
Buzzkill, thanks.
Yeah. So anyway, so for my number 4 pick, we chew and spit you out. We laugh, you scream and shout. All flee with fear you run. You'll know just where we come from. Damage Incorporated. Go. Metallica.
Oddly, the theme to
Damage
the prom.
Incorporated. Yes.
Oddly, an outtake from Flashdance.
Yes. And
I thought that was
the-
Celine.
Yes. Well,
Nice.
you know what? That's the kind of stuff that I was torturing my girlfriend with musically, with all the different stuff that I would be walking to her house with. So yeah, Damage Incorporated. That there's another verse in that song that I think was my theme verse, I think, for a while. So so yeah, I won't go into that because there's kids running around in DC's house, so they don't need to hear those lyrics.
No.
Now
Don't
the
need
next,
any kind of encouragement.
Don't give them
No.
any ammo.
no.
They'll go upstairs, talk to grandma, and grandma will what?
That's right. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. So let's stay in the thrash metal zone, shall we? And go to Auschwitz, the meaning of pain, the way that I want you to die, slow death, immense decay, showers that cleanse you of your life,
My
angel
goodness.
of death from Slayer. Good God Almighty, how much did I listen? I was writing all the lyrics to the songs on my book covers during this last school year, because this would have been my senior year, 86 into 87.
And it was the
And-
runner-up theme for the prom.
Yes, it was actually. Yeah, I think actually what I think what our theme actually was tonight's the night.
Oh, well.
In all seriousness, but
My book
Anyway.
cover just said Amadeus, 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 Amadeus.
I'm not the least bit surprised, since that was the only song that he was really big for. Now let's change to a totally different genre of metal, because this song was, to me, this song again was like my favorite song from this album, that is rather divisive in a lot of folks. We talked about this on the Year of the Priest. From Turbo, the last song, Reckless. Doesn't have any guitar sense, and I love this song. I can still crank this up very loudly in my car, and it means a heck of a lot to me. My last song, and sometimes there's been many a day where I feel this. Let's see, I got to remember the lyrics now. So understand the wasted time, always searching for those wasted years. Yeah, I had the single for it, but Wasted Years from Iron Maiden. Truer words cannot be said, folks. For you youngins out there, don't waste your years.
They don't call him Johnny Metal for nothing.
Yep. When young Logan, I will say this, when they say every time just zips by like that, it's like that. It really is. The kids, when we had our kids, they're already out of the house. It was like that, because when you have kids, that speeds up time. That's when I notice things speeding up, because you're always running around, you're doing this and doing that. And then before you know it, they're out of the house, and then you're going, well, what the hell just happened?
What was that all about?
What was that all about? Then you start up YouTube channels because you have the time.
Yes.
Or something.
So, well, yeah, that's what I did. Anyway, so that was another tangent. So, Johnny Metal, thank you. Let's throw it over to John the Music Nut for his final 4.
All right. Back to the fronts. You will die when I say you must die. Back to the fronts. You coward. You servants. You blind men.
So serious.
Disposable Heroes, Metallica. It's my number 4.
Yes.
I like all the drama tonight.
Man, hold on. Didn't we just have that up?
I like doing this.
You had Damage Incorporated up for me.
Oh, well, where is it? I can't find it. I'm just going to throw up Damage
Older
Incorporated
boy.
because I
Throw a
can't.
dark
Find
cover. A dark cover. That's a dark
Jail.
cover.
21, only son, but it served us well. Yeah. Red to kill, not to care. Do
Oh,
his dead.
that's
we
not it.
say.
All right, I'm going to throw that up because it's the same record.
You'll take away. Do.
Oh no, I've got it.
There we go.
No,
There we
there. Jesus.
Fantastic
go.
song
Fantastic. Yes.
All right.
about war. Those early albums, the lyrics on these early albums by Metallica are fantastic. Awesome albums. They're their best, not just
Very
music,
happy. It's very upbeat and happy, like Triumph.
very upbeat.
Yeah.
Makes you want to go out and kiss the next pretty girl that walks by. That's right.
My goodness gracious. All right, keep
Number
going. What's your
3.
next one?
All right, thank you, Grant. Number 3. This is for all my friends in Canada. And I lost my man card in 1992, so I could pick a song like this.
There's nothing wrong with this song.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's pop perfection. I have
Yeah,
3
it is.
pop perfections in my
This
list.
is a good album too.
It is the big prize. Should have been a huge hit. Feel It Again by Honeymoon
Great.
Suite.
I can listen to Feel It Again over and over and over, and I never get tired of it. Tim
I've never
Derling and I
seen
did a Honeymoon Suite show. We looked at all these records.
How many do they have?
A shitload.
Oh, God, I know they had a shitload.
Enough.
Figured
They
they'd
have
stop
enough.
in the early 90s.
They put out an album on Frontiers. I can't remember what year, but if you like this, go out and find the Honeymoon Suite album they did on Frontiers. You will dig it.
Nice.
It sounds like where this left off, or it's right in this era.
Cool. All right.
There you go.
But fantastic bridge. Just a perfect blend of synths and guitar. The guitar solo on here is magnificent. Another great guitar solo you could sing. A fantastic chorus. Wonderful. That's right, Logan.
Logan just got out of puberty. He doesn't have a man card. Have you looked
right.
at him? I'm not sure Logan shaves. He's
You're right.
smooth. Very smooth.
Number 2.
Okay.
Smooth operator, apparently.
Louder
It's
Than
like
Life.
Sade.
Louder Than Life.
I don't know what that
I
is.
cut out again. Louder Than Life, not Stronger Than Pride. Louder Than Life.
We hear you.
Well, what
Next-
is it?
The Smithereens, Behind the Wall Sleep.
Oh,
Because a lot of people say
Jesus Christ.
they open nearly all their songs with this. I'm a huge Smithereens fan. Yep, Johnny Metal just picked that bad boy up. C6 Records. Right. Want to hear more about the Smithereens? Check out my channel. I did a weekly series on their whole studio catalog. The original albums, not the albums of covers.
Oh, yeah.
One.
Did you ever get that one? The
not only
CD
did
that the album that they did that they reissued like a couple years ago. I bought it on the cruise. The unreleased album.
Well, apparently Grant did not watch my series because not only
No.
did I buy the album, I reviewed the album on a show and I gave Grant a shout out and said, "This is for Grant Arthur. I would not know this album." But then again, Grant, I know you work 14 hours a day, and that's just
And
doing it.
then he does 36 hours a day of music video, like video programming. So
Right, exactly.
I am
So
busy.
yeah.
So I apologize, John, but because I love you as a brother, I'm going to go back and watch that video just to hear my voice as a shout
the
out.
Lost album. It's the Lost album. I did a show on that. All right.
All
Sorry
right.
to hold you all up. Number 1.
Yes.
Okay, more pop perfection here. They have never heard the second hit much anymore, but it's the number 1 single. I don't know what they did after the broadcast album. Cutting Crew, I Just Died in Your Arms.
Yes, we have that.
Me and Yvonne named this one. That's right.
Yvonne. Yeah, where is it? There it is. Got
many
it.
movies tonight.
Little bit of overlap tonight. Little
Not
bit.
Another
much.
great synth pop song with an awesome guitar solo in it. And a killer bridge on it as well, and a fantastic chorus. Love this
Fantastic.
song. Loved this song when I was a heavy metal head back in 1986, and I still love it now. There you go. It's my number one.
Yeah, they're a great band. They put out 3 albums on Virgin, which are all sort of along the same lines of each other. That's sort of commercial pop rock. And then they split up, and then Kevin McMichael, the guitar player, died. Then they recorded a couple albums, like in the early 2000s or whatever. I mean, they're still around touring. You know, Grant just saw them, but they put out an album on that August Day label or whatever, where they went in and they did their songs and they redid them with an orchestra. So there's some really nice versions, including "I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight." So great pop band, great pop band.
D Rocker says "Feel It Again" was 85.
That's
It was actually released in 86 in the States, though, but they
There you go.
there was like a misprint when they they put the album out. And I learned that from Tim Derling, actually.
Tim Derling would know.
He would know.
Ernesto would pick something off Frank Marino's Full Circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had enough Frank Marino from Ernesto. All right. Was that your number one? Sorry.
Yes.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
DC.
I'm so happy Marlon's back because he's just in time to give me an 0 for 4 on my last picks here. So let's start off with a soulful voice that is vulnerable and engaging. It's Amy Mann with Till Tuesday with What About Love?
Nice.
Why does that look?
Oh,
Wait a minute. That's not going to work. Look, the graphic is incorrect.
what the?
Does Van Halen have a song called "What About Love"?
That is what you
Why
call.
can't this be love?
Or
Why
when
can't
it's
this
love.
be love? When it's
There's
love.
That's a problem with quality control, ladies and gentlemen.
You got to talk to those guys in aisle 14. They
Yeah.
were supposed to get these graphics to you correctly.
Well, I actually put Marlon in charge of that. and
He don't like this song anyway, so going into
sabotaged
it.
you.
Yep.
So pretend
Jill
Amy Mann
Halen.
was on there.
Bill Halen.
Well, instead of the naked guy lifting the globe.
Pretend Amy Mann's on there.
Her voice, the instrumentation, and there's a digital rhythmic chirp, which is a little bit of an 80s trope. It doesn't bother me. You got a guitar riff, the bass, and the other percussive elements create this hypnotic groove. It runs in the course of the song. It's a great melody, and it's got a great chorus. So, I'm going to be right in line here with Steve Schnee.
Oh my goodness.
And the longer I know Steve Schnee, the more I realize that the only difference between me and him are our age, because I think we hear things the same way. Our tastes in music is very similar. Like out of the blue, I just typed one night on Ski Lodge that my favorite Stevie Wonder song was If You
Really Love Me.
If You Really Love Me. And Schnee goes, hey, that's mine too. So we find this stuff happening all the time. Make a long story short, it's Journey with, as Steve mentioned before, Girl Can't Help It. That is just such a memorable and catchy song. Commercial, pop, those aren't bad words to me. So the haters will have to hate and continue to hate. But I like what I like, and I make no concessions.
There's,
so there.
hey, we talked 10 minutes about that record. So
So let's move on.
Wait. I just want to add, though, real fast. Steve Perry was not just a guy who walked into the studio and sang a song. I mean, you could tell that what he's singing, he's into. He's climbing into that song, and he's planting his feet down, and he's feeling what he's singing. He's not just like, some guy just up there wailing. There's a lot of emotion and soul in his voice.
one of
There's
the
a
true
reason.
greats.
There's a reason so many people out there just truly resonate with his voice and his approach to singing. So he might not be everybody's cup of tea, but with the people that get it, love the guy. A lot of talk about losing man cards, and here I'll lose another one for 1986. My next choice, which is really going to cause heads to explode, it's Human by, coincidentally, the Human League.
I don't know, but I love that song.
This song in its subject matter and approach remind me of something that Todd Rundgren might undertake. does have many of the tropes of the 80s with the production, but the humanity in this tune comes through. And I love songs that undertake the struggles of being a human being. So I love the combination also of male and female vocals. And we even get a little falsetto thrown in at the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Eric Robertson likes Greg Raleigh better, but I liked when Greg and Steve Perry traded off vocals.
Mm-hmm.
That was a winning combo right
Winning
there.
combo.
Okay, another band, another artist that gets shit on a lot, and I decided to throw a little love his way because my runners up, I got about 5 songs here that could have gone into a couple of these slots. I'm gonna pick Billy Joel with a song, oddly enough, that is not piano driven but guitar driven, with "A Matter of Trust."
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice rock and groove, and like I said, that's highly unusual for the Piano Man to have a composition and such a great song that's guitar centric. So that rounds out my 10.
There you go.
Thank you, Tyler.
I did want to say, though, everyone's talking about the man card. I must have been absent from school that day because I never got one. So,
I never let that bother me. Yeah, meet me on the football field or the baseball diamond. You'll see if I still got my man card.
Marlon says, glad that's over.
I'll tell you, I have no shame in anything that I've ever listened to.
No, it's like if you got that.
I might have had that when I was a kid. You're going, well, I really like that, but I'm not sure I should play that in front of my buddies. But now who cares?
Look, when I was in my teens getting into punk, I'd still, for my friends or mixtapes, I'd put Oscar the Grouch singing I Love Trash. Because when I was 6 years old, that was my favorite song,
Right. Well, no one mentioned Cameo. I thought about mentioning Word Up, but I didn't. I didn't go that route. All right, DC, was that your final? That was it.
I'm done, except for my runners up if we're going to do those.
Well, let me do mine and then we'll see.
And I remember Billy Joel, the next year in 87, he made a big concert on the Red Square in Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first
That's true.
on the West. So that was,
I've seen him many times in concert and always gives it his all.
Yeah.
All right. So this album's been mentioned. XTC, Skylarking. How can I not mention something from Skylarking? So I picked That's Really Super Girl. Great pop, great guitars, great songwriting, great vocal. I like XTC, for goodness sake. So how could I not?
Hey, Grant, was this like when you listened to this album for the first time, and you were a younger cat than I was at the time?
Probably,
did this hit you as something that, my God, this is something really special?
Brilliant.
That's how it hit me. It was like, this is effing brilliant. And that's why I laughed by the time I got to The Man Who Sold. Why am I losing the jazz tinge thing? Because there's pop, there's symphonic. I mean, there's all approaches here, and it's a masterpiece in my opinion.
Yep. Phenomenal. Well, since Eric Robertson mentioned this, heck, I might as well jump to it. My number 2 is 38 Special, Somebody Like You, Strength in Numbers. I love that song. I love 38 Special. Saw them on the 80s Cruise too, and they were freaking wonderful. Yeah, they've had lineup changes, but they still bring it. And, Jerry Riggs is playing guitar. So there you go. Somebody Like You, great track. This is probably when they started falling off in quality, but to be honest, I don't have a problem with this record at all. This record didn't sell quite as much as the previous albums, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I still like it. Remember when it came out, it had the die cut? Those circles were all die cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Every now and then you see one, but not very many. All right, so that's my number. That's my number 3. My number 2, I'm going to go with Rick Ocasek, Emotion in Motion from East Side of Paradise, which you do have some of the members of the Cars on here. I think Greg Hawkes is playing keyboards. I think Elliot Easton might make an appearance, but I love this song. Yeah, it's a slow commercial ballad, but it's one of those tracks from this year that I can listen to over and over again. All right, my number one. This album's probably been the number one album brought up tonight. I'm going to go with the Smiths. There is a light that never goes out from The Queen is Dead. This is my favorite Smiths song. This should have been a single. I think it was released as a single later. And the version that I really like, check this out. There's a live Morrissey album where he does this song. I can't remember the name of it. You'll look Morrissey live. One of those. He does a version of this is absolutely stunning. The live version of this. I might even like it better than this. Phenomenal.
You know what I think
great song.
Well, first off, it's even better than "Here Is a Light That Never Goes Out."
What did I say?
No, you said there on the screen. It says "Here Is a Light That Never Goes Out."
Oh well, again Marlon with quality control.
Okay, I went and saw Neil Finn at the House of Blues in Anaheim, and middle of the show, out walks Johnny Marr, and they did "There's a Light That Never Goes Out," and then they did that through this tour, so that song ended up on a Neil Finn live album. It's with Johnny Marr, Neil Finn singing, and that is my second favorite version of that song after the Smiths.
I have to check it out. I have never heard it.
It's really fantastic.
I mean, did they record it, or was it just when you heard?
Not
it?
at the show that I was at, but Johnny Marr would hop up on stage throughout his tour, so
Okay.
it did get recorded, and it is on that live album.
All right. I didn't go. All right. Well, I'm surprised he actually played a show without canceling.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't know if he ever plays out. I've seen Johnny Marr twice live. Always great. But I have never seen Morrissey because I don't think he's always, if he was coming, he's canceled.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
Everyone
canceled
should
like
watch
9,
Johnny
8.
Metal's channel.
Oh,
Who's Johnny Metal? I think we've said that before.
Some
Johnny
dweeb.
Metal's been on here for years. Yes, please watch Johnny Metal's channel. And watch
That's
Stephen
good.
Snee's channel. And John the Music Nut. Let's give a love for everyone. And Yvonne. All these
Even
guys.
music.
Yvonne Music Man, check it out. Marion held one Johnny.
I'll take 6, nobody.
Wow, Marlon.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Is that a compliment or?
That's why I picked number 6. I'll gladly pull up the
I
rear on
think
that
these are
list.
the ones he doesn't like. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. He's
Oh,
not.
no.
There's no detail here. I don't know what that means.
No, after Johnny Metal and Byron, nothing else really matters. So that's why you're a nobody.
Yvonne loved Marlon. All right, well, gentlemen. Okay, what's it? 1:40. Well, okay, we've went long. I'll give you a couple minutes. Anybody have any honorables, and we can wrap this dog up.
I have, of course, the sun always shines on TV with Aha from Norway, and
Okay.
I also like John Farnham. You Are the Voice. That was a good one. Torn in My Side, New Eurythmics, and A Kind of Magic McQueen, and Wild Wild Life with Talking Heads, and Higher Love with Steve Winwood. That was my honorable mention.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Anybody? All right, go
I
ahead.
got some.
DC. All right.
Honorable mention: The Fix, Secret Separation, Starship Sarah, Daryl Hall, Dreamtime, Pretenders. Don't Get Me Wrong, ELO, Secret Lives, Anita Baker, Caught Up in the Rapture, and Mr. Kiri.
China Crisis, Arizona Sky, The Fix, Secret Separation, Krista Berg, Fire on the Water, Aha, Scoundrel Days, Queen, Kind of Magic, Erasure, Heavenly Action, REM, Fall on Me, OMD, Forever Live and Die, The Stranglers, Always the Sun, Gary Newman, My Breathing, and Big Out Air Dynamite, Beyond the Pale.
God, don't. Anybody else?
Well, I'll roll with a few. Teenage Frankenstein, Alice Cooper, Night Song, Cinderella, Blood and Iron, Kirith Ungol, Curse the Gods by Destruction, Stand Up from Fastway from the Trick or Treat soundtrack. Let me see what would be some other good ones here. I actually had Daydream on my list here too. Ultimate Sin from Ozzy. Pack is Back from Rave and Body Talk from Rat, Shy Boy from David Lee Roth. Yeah, I had far too many more I could have picked, but oof.
Wow. You guys have
This
named
was a good year. The last couple 80s was difficult. This was a great year for me. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on any toes.
Next year is more difficult.
Oh, I forgot. Falco, Rock Me Amadeus.
There you go. Yes, we have that graphic.
Actually, Vienna Calling. I like
Vienna Calling. We're going to do I'm going to be a contact tomorrow, so get ready.
Okay.
Falco's coming. All right. Johnny Music, you got anything?
Somebody save me. Cinderella. Good Morning Black Friday. Megadeth. There you go.
All right. And BM Bolt, anything?
Most of you guys named most of the ones that I had in mind. I'll throw in Talking Heads, Wild Wild Life. I always like that album. Even I wrote down Zebra, but I really didn't pick a song. The first track off of that third Zebra album, whatever it's called, I really dig that.
Well, we look at those Zebra albums, and those Zebra albums are really good.
Oh yeah.
Which ones did we have in common with you, Byron? I'm curious. Ones that I already mentioned.
REM, Fall on Me. Metallica, I really didn't pick anything in particular, but the ones that they named were pretty good. Queen, One Vision, Pretenders, Don't Get Me Wrong. I had that on there too. So, yeah.
I don't know, but this statement really scares the living hell out of me.
That's a sign that Jesus is coming back.
Really?
I think.
Mark it down. If Marlon walked into my studio where I got all my CDs and albums, he'd fall to his knees and weep.
I got to take a picture of this because this really means we are. Has anybody died and floated up to heaven yet?
What does that mean?
I'm still here.
Did that mean they thought Johnny Metal and I had the best picks?
Yeah, Marlon rates you 2, 1 and 2. The rest of us are nobodies.
Rapture of you.
this is really unsettling.
I respected most of John the Music Nuts picks. The rest of you guys, no.
That's okay. It's just all about hanging and talking music. It's all good. Got a lot of different opinions.
Nah, Baba, nah.
I forgot how great that Anita Baker album is.
Oh my God! What a tour de force!
Which one?
Yeah, Rapture.
Oh, okay. I've never heard it. Look at that! Creed's coming up with some Beastie Boys. No Sleep till
there you go, Davey.
Featuring Kerry King on guitar.
That's right. Kerry King on frozen lead guitar, I think it was, in the credits.
Holy mackerel. All right. Well, let's wrap it up, gentlemen. I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank everybody in the chat for chiming in and destroying each panelist. Though, we're trying to be cool. You guys are funny. BM, I thank you for coming. Schnee, Metal, Nut, Bolt, and Ivan, the Music Man.
What about DC?
Me and Bolt are one and the same. We're like the two guys on that cop drop box.
It looks like you're sitting together. I said, and DC Toontime. On Toontime. I don't. It's been a long day.
I have to admit that picture that Johnny Metal is showing, it actually generally makes me sad because I'm so empathetic to see such joy in that picture and to know what befell that woman.
Yeah, it's very sad.
There it is again.
Sad.
Yeah, she was dealing with aplastic anemia, and unfortunately, it won. So yeah.
Wow. Oh man, so sorry. All right. On an uplifting note, we will be back in a month for 1987. And
Amadeus,
and Falco. So, gentlemen, I will be in touch. You know how this works. All right, everybody. We'll see you. Have a good night and
happy
keep it
Thanksgiving.
Oh,
happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving for you folks.
And for those of you watching and you're out of the country, happy Thursday on Thursday.
Yeah,
yes,
Thursday.
Exactly.
Have a great day on Thursday.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See you, gentlemen.